All right, it's day 7 and we're walking into Dick's Creek Gap here. Very nice. Van Gogh and Riley checking back in. So it's kind of late in the day now. Sun is close to setting. Come on, Riley. Come on, buddy. And whoops. Almost tripped on Riley's leash there. So we've made progress today. But a slow day. And so this is only the second time that I've started the camera today. So let me update on what's been happening. So we made it to the shelter last night, Deep Gap Shelter, I believe, which was 3.6 miles away from Dick's Creek Gap. And it was a very nice shelter. And when I got there, Riley and I were the only ones there. And then about an hour later, 2 guys and a small dog that we had seen earlier on the trail, they hiked in and they joined us in the shelter. So it was nice to have their company. And it worked out pretty well, given that they had a small dog, because the shelter had, which I showed in yesterday's video, the shelter had 2 levels. So the dog and one of the guys was able to sleep on the top level, while Riley and I slept on the bottom level along with the other guy. And so the dogs were separated the whole night, and it was easy to keep them separated whenever we were doing stuff during the evening or this morning. But I guess the most interesting thing that happened is there was an enormous thunderstorm last night and into today. What do we have here? Let's see. All right, so camping that way, water this way. Cool. So let's continue on the AT. We don't need to camp there. Come on, Riley. Come on, buddy. Let's go. We gotta get water, Riley. Hold up, buddy. Riley, where are you going? Come on, buddy. We gotta get water. Anyway, so as I was saying, there was a very large thunderstorm last night, and I don't usually check the weather, so I was not aware that the thunderstorm was going to be coming. And it's a good thing that I ended up staying in the shelter, because it would have been, I think, pretty non-ideal to be in a tent during that thunderstorm. Basically, we had actually all gone to bed, and it wasn't raining at all. But then, I'm guessing around midnight or so, the rain started, and it continued for a really long time. I didn't try to time it, but it seemed like it was like 3 or 4 hours. And all right, so I'm gonna continue on here. Come on, Riley. Yeah, so it continued for a pretty long time, and there was thunder and lightning. And all right, so it looks like this is our water source. So we'll walk down here. Hopefully it's not too far. Hopefully not. But yeah, anyway, so it was lots of thunder and lightning that lit up the sky, and it kind of kept us awake. It was hard to fall asleep. And then it eventually stopped for a few hours, and then it started back up again. While it was still dark out, it hadn't actually gotten light, and it continued for another few hours and into the daylight, and then it kind of settled down. And I thought it might be ending, but then it picked back up again. It wasn't really thundering and lightning at this point, but it picked up and it was still raining pretty hard. Here we go, Riley. So we got off to a very late start today because of that, because I didn't feel like venturing out onto the trail until I was sure that the rain was over. And at some point I was worried that like the rain was just going to continue the whole day. But eventually it stopped and we were able to start hiking, and it was still chilly out because the rain had chilled everything. But once we started hiking, it warmed us up and it started to feel good. But because we got such a late start, we had 3.6 miles to do to Dix Creek Gap. And when I filmed us getting there earlier, it was actually 4 p.m. at that point because we got such a late start. And once we got there, all right, so this is pretty deep down. Pretty deep down to get water, but we need water, so we're gonna go as far as we need to. Anyway, so we got to Dix Creek Gap, and then there were a couple guys getting a shuttle, and the shuttle driver offered Riley and I to get in the back, and she was already going in the direction of the hostel, around the Bend hostel that we wanted to get to. So Riley and I hopped in the back of her pickup truck, and she dropped us off in the driveway of the hostel. And I was able to pick up Riley's 5-pound bag of dog food resupply, which was great. And I hung out a little while to like just arrange my food things and charge some items. And I was also able to upload the first YouTube video, which is an accomplishment. Good, Riley's drinking here. Very good. Nice water source here. Yeah, so I was able to upload the first YouTube video, but I didn't want to stick around too long at the hostel because they had already been pretty generous to me in terms of like kind of just letting me sit around and organize my things, even though I wasn't staying the night. And like, even if I wanted to stay the night, that wasn't an option because they were already fully booked. But I didn't want to just kind of sit around on their property after they had already given me the package. So I didn't try to upload anything more. And I'm really kind of appreciating how difficult it is to, number one, do the hike, but also try to take videos and then get them uploaded, because the hardest part for me about getting everything uploaded is getting access to Wi-Fi, which I only have when I can get to a road crossing and then get to some business that has Wi-Fi. So not complaining, I'm just observing that it's a challenge. So basically, as a result, I'm next planning to get access to Wi-Fi when we get to the Nantahala Outdoor Center, which is around mile 130. So it's about 70 miles from here. And I think that's basically going to put us on, assuming I am able to get everything uploaded at that point, which is a big if, that'll put us on about a 15-day delay between where we are actually in the hike and when the videos are uploaded. And I'm guessing we'll probably get on even more of a delay than just 15 days because things never go according to plan. But that's okay. That's okay. The important thing is Riley and I so far are doing fine out here, and we're making good progress. Another cool thing at the hostel, I checked their hiker box, and I mentioned in some previous videos that my foam pad that I brought, which was really, really thin, and I was doing that because I wanted to save some weight. Well, I realized that it's just not very comfortable, particularly when we're sleeping in shelters. And I found this nice roll-up Thermarest foam pad in the hiker box at around the Bend hostel for free. So I picked that up, and it's kind of big, but I figured out a way to strap it to the top of my pack. And so I should be able to use that now in the tent and also in shelters, and looking forward to trying it out tonight. And I think it should help make our nightly rests much more comfortable. apart from that, let's see. Riley, do you have anything to update on? I think, oh, also at the hostel, when I was getting Riley's food like packed into my bear canister, I was trying to organize things and I was running out of space, so I started feeding Riley directly from the food bag, and I figured he was pretty hungry, just with all the hiking he's been doing. And so I was able to feed him, like, I didn't weigh it, but it was probably at least a pound of dog food, like right there. And he ate it all up and seemed very, very pleased to eat it. So that helped, number one, to feed Riley's hiker hunger, and also to help me fit everything that we needed to in the bear canister in my backpack. All right, so I'm gonna fill up on water here, and then we don't have much daylight left, so we're gonna find a campsite. And the good thing is that I have heard multiple people say, who have checked the weather, that we are in the clear for rain for the next several days. So today's Thursday, until at least Tuesday, I think we're in the clear for any more rainfall. It seems like just about all the rainfall for the next several days fell between last night and this morning. So that's good to know. Yeah, so we're gonna find a campsite, hike back up this long stretch of descent that we just did. And tomorrow we should be crossing into North Carolina. So that's the update for now, and we'll check back in later on. Bye for now. Bye, Riley. All right, Riley and Van Gogh back here. So we got our water and we hiked on a bit, and we have found our campsite for the evening. Got some nice flat ground here. The trail is right over there, and we're going to be continuing tomorrow to our right that way. I just checked my Far Out app, and it looks like we're at mile 71.2 on the trail. So that means that from Dix Creek Gap, after we left the hostel, which was at mile 69.3, we hiked in 1.9 miles. And for the day, we hiked 5.5 miles. And that's all because we got off to such a late start because of the rain issues last night and into today. But that's okay. Those things happen. The positive thing is that we stayed dry and we didn't feel any discomfort in terms of, feeling cold and wet at the same time. It just delayed us, and that's totally fine. So we are about 7 miles away from the North Carolina border now. And yesterday I mentioned I would expand upon my reasons for why we're doing this, why I want to hike the trail again with my dog. And I think I'm gonna push that to tomorrow. Partly because the light's getting low right now, and I think it'll be better to do it tomorrow when the light is brighter, and also it'll just give us more time now to set up and take care of what we need to do for this evening. So with that, Riley and I say good night and hope all of you are doing well, and we will check in again tomorrow.